few weeks back, we did a video on some of the best bat suits of all time with the reveal of the Robot Bat suit.
And that was the most popular video of all time.
I think it was, yeah.
It beat out Psy, Gangnam Style.
It did. 145 million views, is that correct?
More than that.
Yeah, but look, we can always do with some more. Hey, but we're not here to talk about Batman this week. We're here to talk about the new Batmobile that was revealed.
That's fun too.
But then also some of the best ones throughout history. If you've got one, don't worry, we're definitely going to mention it. You don't even need to be angry about it. And just rest assured, because we're going to mention it, if you could leave a like, that'd be great.
Leave a like under the assumption that we're going to mention your favourite Batmobile, no matter how obscure, no matter how long it would take. I mean, sure, it's only a 10-ish minute video, but we're going to mention your favourite Batmobile.
Don't worry about it.
And if we don't, just watch it again.
Yeah.
You probably missed it.
You missed it.
Don't take the like away, though.
I think the Batmobile that really got people to pay attention, even though they had existed before, was the 1966 live action version. Oh my
God.
Yeah.
So that was a one-off car. So that was the company Lincoln made the Futura.
Lincoln, like the president.
Yeah, the President Lincoln made the 1955 Lincoln Futura, which was like a concept car. Apparently, it cost what would be the equivalent now of about $2.5 million.
Right, good.
And then I believe it was purchased by a man named George Barris, who was like a famous car modifier. And it was used in various productions, like various movies and TV shows with a different paint job.
Right.
And then they were like, "Can you make us a Batmobile?" And he was like, "Okay, we can modify this." And apparently, it's quite a bad car. Like it looks cool. It started, I think, as silver and blue, and then they were like, "Okay, we're going to put some modifications on this thing. We'll put some fins on it."
Put the like paraffin jet fuel.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, that's if anything has come from that, because apparently it was like, as I understand it, they had to speed up the footage of the Batmobile driving around because it was so slow.
They had to do that for the 89 one as well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. What is iconic from this version of the Batmobile that stuck around is that the fact that it's got a non-functional but still there, like rocket booster in the back.
Yeah.
Which pretty much every famous version of the Batmobile since has had like a huge torrent of flame shooting.
Well, I'm looking at this list here, and that is strictly not true. But look, it's good to put it out there. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess we are mentioning every Batmobile.
Exactly.
Video, so.
And the other thing is, like, if I don't mention that, then people will just yell at you. So I'm doing that, so other people don't.
But am I listening to them? Absolutely not.
Actually, though, it's not credited as the first ever live-action Batmobile because a 1956 Oldsmobile was crafted into what is commonly considered the original incarnation. It was like a fan creation that eventually got officially credited, and it recently sold at auction for quite a lot of money.
If you were making a company that was selling cars and you wanted to present the idea of cars being, latest technology and speed and just shooting off into the future, what would you call it? Oldsmobile?
It's the perfect name.
That's what I think. So
yeah.
I know. The version, the one from the 50s, it is very reminiscent of the 1960s Batmobile, but I wonder if it's been repainted since then.
That could very well.
But it does have a black and red color scheme, which for many years has been kind of the iconic colorway of the Batmobile, except for obviously the first Batmobile, which was just a red car.
Perfect.
Right?
Well, look, I thought about that. And if you want to go incognito places in a Batsuit,
that's true.
A red car is as good as any, isn't
it?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
They'd be like, that's not a Batmobile. It's red car.
The car that everybody has.
Yeah, right.
But the Batmobile actually officially kind of came to be in the comics in the early 40s, where it's got a big Batman face on the front of it. It's quite a cool design, and it's been modified into other designs since and brought back in the comics.
Well, look, there was an interim version, like in the very early 40s, which was just kind of like an open top kind of black roadster, which is pretty cool. And your bat hair can blow in the bat wind, obviously. Sure. The 1943-44 version, like the World War II version, it's got a huge fin in the back, like a bat would.
Like a bat would.
A big bat fin on the back there. And it does have that Batman face, which is very...
Very Batman.
It's very Batman,
in a lot of
right?
ways.
And if you're a criminal...
Yeah.
And you think you've gotten away with a bank robbery or whatever, and all of a sudden there's this missile coming at you with a big bat head on the front.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
You know you're in trouble. You know you're going to get shot because it was that era of Batman.
That's right.
So let's do some live action ones.
Okay.
Because I feel like these are also the ones that people remember the most.
Yes.
So the Tim Burton Batmobile is incredible.
Rocket booster.
As
all the Batmobiles have.
You need a grappling hook to take a corner.
That's right.
It's completely impractical. It's 100 feet long.
It's got those stop motion shields on it.
Yes, it does.
It's got a little voice controller thingy.
Like a lot of the live action ones, you have to climb in through the roof for some reason.
Yeah, there's a distinct lack on this list of iconic Batmobiles. that just have doors you open up and you just step in like a normal car. It's always like, but that's, that's supercars for you, You build a supercar, like a Lamborghini or whatever, you want it to have just really inconvenient doors.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
That's how you know you paid a lot of money for it.
The Batman the Animated Series clearly takes a lot of inspiration from that, which might be my favorite version as well.
Yeah, that's a little combo of like the 89 Batmobile, but also that 40s Roadster kind of vibe. Like it's slim and it's a missile. Doesn't have a bat face on it, but Batman's in it and he's going to get you. You know what I mean?
So there technically is a bat face on it, I guess.
That's very true, yeah.
I don't like the Schumacher ones. The weird ribbed design. I don't really remember which is which. They both have fins potentially.
And they have the weird glowing reactor core into it. I don't know about that.
They're okay.
Yeah.
But they don't stand out to me, specifically because I can't remember which one's in what movie.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I mean, it's certainly, it's got a lot of color to it because that was... Like everything's got a glowing reactor in it, whether it's a Batmobile or the Riddler.
Yes.
It's got a big glowing core to it. And, it's got the grappling hook that can drive it up a wall or what have you. But and it's kind of, it's leaning more towards camp. And it's like, well, the fins are bigger and the rocket booster's longer. And it's, the
fin is out of control.
The bat logos on the wheels are bigger because it's like, well, this is camp and we're not taking it very seriously anymore. But at the same time, sucks.
But look, if we want to step away from camp, because of course the realest Batman that ever happened was in 2005, Batman Begins, and they went, what if Batman just took a car from the army?
Right.
Yeah. The tumbler they made for real, it would outrun the cameras.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's a very heavy duty.
Do you know if it was based on a real vehicle? Like, did they take a real vehicle and modify it, or did they build it from scratch?
I believe they built it from scratch, but I could very well be wrong. Yeah.
Wow. Does that mean we could buy our own?
Definitely.
Yes.
It does feel practical for the world that they've built it in. One of the things I don't like about it is that it's not very Batman at all to look at it. It looks like a concept car.
None of the Batman vehicles in the Nolan movies really look... I mean, there wasn't really that many, but...
I like the bike. I think the bike gets it done.
None of them really look particularly Batman themed. No. And I know, it's meant to be a more realistic, grounded world with a flying car situation, But at the same time, I feel like a very large part of Batman's whole deal is he needs it to look like a bat, you know?
He does. I also don't like that you can see the windscreen wipers on it.
Oh,
again, it's a practical element, and it's for jumping rivers and making bridges or whatever, but I like it, and it works in that universe. What do you think of, because it kind of drew inspiration from the Frank Miller Bat tank?
Yes.
From The Dark Knight Returns.
Which I've just seen as a diagram, like a side-on, like schematic for the first time. It looks ridiculous. It's like a big fat piggy, and he's leaning to his trough to have some bit of lunch.
Yeah,
and he's black and a bat.
That's right.
It's ridiculous.
It's dumb, but I like it.
And this was of course sort of peak in that transition of Frank Miller's art style from kind of more realistic to just insane caricature, like Sin City style. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense, but it's weird when you see it. When you see an architect or a graphic designer draw a version of it.
Absolutely. With the Batman v Superman one, it feels very Arkham-esque from the games.
100%.
Especially the later ones. I like it a lot. I don't like that it has a lot of machine guns on it used to kill people.
Yeah, right.
But I think the design is solid.
But then the 89 version had machine guns on it as well.
That's true, it did. Yeah, what am I arguing? What am I saying? Yeah.
So if you agree with the idea that it's an evolution of that,
yeah,
then I guess that's kind of accurate. But
I do agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks good, and it's meant to be a Batmobile that Batman has developed after 20 years of fighting crime. So it's fast, it's indestructible,
it's got machine guns.
It's got machine guns on it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it 100% works in that universe.
Yeah. What do you think of the Arkham ones, though? Because we see it in the first game.
Yes.
He uses it to take out Bane at one point.
That's right, yeah.
And then it shows up as a tank in the last game. And the reason I don't love it, I think, though, is because you get stuck in it so much.
For sure, yeah.
But I think the design is good.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
And again,
based on that.
Speaking of Batman and his use of weapons or lack thereof, it feels a little bit like they had this tank mechanism, this tank game, and they're like, let's just put it in Batman because he's firing a lot of missiles and bullets at, I guess, robot targets or whatever. It's like, well, lucky I have all these missiles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's definitely no humans in these tanks.
No, and when you hit somebody on it, they bounce off it harmlessly.
Oh yes,
that's like a thing that they worked in when it's not really killing people; they're bouncing off harmlessly because it's got a protective barrier that also protects them somehow.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think the Arkham game Batmobiles for me works better when it's just a device from getting him from A to B.
You see it, he has it.
You see it, he has.
And that's how the first game opens.
Yeah, we know he's got vehicles, but these games are about you being Batman.
Yeah.
It's not about driving around.
No, except for that game where it's exclusively about that.
Oh my God.
So to jump back into the world of comic books, he had a Lamborghini in the 80s, didn't he?
He had a vehicle that was very reminiscent of a Lamborghini, but it could also transform into a Rolls Royce kind of situation.
It was like an Inspector Gadget mobile.
It was kind of an Inspector Gadget, although that transforming thing was dropped fairly quickly. But it's sort of, this one I feel is most reminiscent of the Batman Batmobile.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's a car. It's not a tank.
Yes.
It's a fast car. It's bulletproof. It's maybe got some gadgets and gimmicks in it, but it's
you can get the wheels off it. It turns out
it's a mobile.
Yes.
You know?
The reason I say that is, of course, there's the iconic cover with Jason Todd prying the wheels off the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Which was how he was retconned into how he met.
That's right.
Batman, because initially he was basically Dick Grayson again.
Again, for sure. Yeah.
Where they changed that up though.
And of course that led to Batman putting tear gas in all his wheels.
Yes.
So no homeless kid can ever steal his wheels ever again.
Yeah. I recently watched the Lego movie. Mm-hmm. There's a Batman Lego movie version, and then there's the Lego movie, the first movie version. Mm-hmm. They're different. They're very different, but they also look like Batmobiles that a kid might slap together for a lot of it.
For sure,
They look good, and I just think the design of them are cool as a Lego version of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they've got the jet out the back and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't. I can't remember. But look, we've mentioned them all, haven't we?
Every single one.
But there's one that we have missed, which I think might be one of my favorites, and it's a recent one because I feel a lot of the comic ones, they're kind of interchangeable, and it's whatever the artist wants and whatever the era is.
I feel like the modern day Batmobile is more of an idea.
Yeah.
In the comic books especially. It's just like, well, maybe this week he's driving the 40s one or a version of the 40s one.
Yeah.
It's just whatever they feel like that week.
I also love it when they pull back in the Batcave and you just see all the
all
different
of them,
eras.
right?
I really, really
There's
enjoy
the
that.
Batboat, but we're not talking about the Batboat this week.
That's a separate video.
That's right, all the iconic Batboats.
It's probably a Watch Mojo video about it. It's probably terrible. No, good on him. I don't know.
Imagine if he was Dugong Man and he was just a series of Batboats.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Dugong boats. No, he's still driving Batboats. Who cares?
So this is one of my recent favorite ones. It's from the DC Rebirth. It's a combination of a few things.
I'm ready.
I'll just show it to you. It's a bit Batman 89. It's a bit the animated series. So it's got the canopy that slides back on the top. It's armored also, like a lot of the more modern ones. And of course, it has the Batman face at the front.
Nice.
I think this is one of the rare examples of where they've taken a lot of elements from all the different Batmobiles and worked them together really well. So this might be my current favorite. But look, we've named them all.
You're very flighty, aren't you?
You know I am,
might change
yeah.
next week.
I just think it's great. I think it's really good. But look, we've already named your favorite, but if you've got a favorite, if you want to name it again,
if you would like to reiterate the one that we said that you like the most.
Yeah. And again, if you didn't hear it, you've missed it. Just watch it again.
Watch it again. If you didn't see it again, maybe ask a friend to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe ask every friend you have to watch the video.
Get them to confirm it.
Leave a like.
Yeah.
And they'll probably find it. Yeah.
Absolutely, they will. Of course, though, we do videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and we also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That comes out every Monday morning. It is linked below. We recently did an episode on movies that were long delayed that eventually came out and the process behind that. We talked about, of course, the new James Bond film that happened too.
long delay.
Mad Max Fury Road was delayed a very long time before it came out. The Jurassic World. There's a bunch of them that you might be interested in.
And we reveal whether the Batman's going to be delayed.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably just come out, I'd imagine. Yeah. Unless we're all dead, you never know. Yeah, that's cool. Anyways, I'm Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Thanks for listening to this and watching this.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
And goodbye.
Unless we're all dead.
Yeah.
Be nice to just have a bit of a lie down, I reckon.
Oh my God, you're telling me, mate.
Mm-hmm.